Hello and welcome to the Pretty Good Gaming Daily Triple, your no shit gaming news video. That's 3 news stories in one video with zero faff. Spider-Man is the most profitable superhero of all time and in 2018 became one of Sony's strongest mascots for the PS4. With the announcement of Marvel's Avengers by Square Enix, superhero fans have wondered whether Spider-Man will join his fellow heroes in the game. Sony has now officially confirmed that Spider-Man will in fact be joining Marvel's Avengers for free in 2021, but there is one big catch. He's exclusive to PlayStation. Now that's great news for PlayStation players, as you'll be able to get the extra character, but for everyone else on PC and Xbox, you're left missing out on one of Marvel's biggest characters. In 2014, Spidey was the most profitable superhero in terms of merchandising and brand recognition, dwarfing all other heroes, including Batman. Now his status as the most profitable superhero may well have changed since then, but either way, he's still a hugely popular character. That makes Spidey's exclusivity to PlayStation a huge selling point for the company, which is a smart business decision, but it's not one that sits well with many gamers. Spidey brings the total to 8 characters in the game so far, meaning that PC and Xbox players are literally missing out on 1/8 of the roster. Platform exclusive characters are nothing new, as games like Soul Calibur have done it in the past. With Soul Calibur 2, GameCube players got Link from Zelda, Xbox players got Spawn from the Spawn comics, and PlayStation players got Heihachi from Tekken. Many are saying that this is a similar situation, but it's really not, as Xbox and PC currently don't have any exclusive characters of their own to balance the scales, and Spider-Man isn't a Sony-created IP. Having Link on the GameCube version of Soul Calibur is much more justifiable because Nintendo actually created him and owns every little thing about him. Sony, on the other hand, didn't create Spider-Man and only owns the film rights. The rights to his appearance in video games is much more complicated. Even if PC and Xbox did have their own platform exclusives, nothing would compare to having Spider-Man, as his popularity is significantly higher than every other Marvel property. The closest solution to balance it out could be to give Xbox Wolverine from the X-Men, as he is largely considered to be the most popular and has dominated most of the X-Men movies, and perhaps PC could get exclusivity for someone like Black Panther, as he currently has the highest grossing solo superhero movie. But having exclusive characters on each platform is far from ideal, as it means everyone misses out on someone. If Spider-Man was a timed exclusive to Sony's platform, it could be more understandable, but permanent exclusivity, especially for such a beloved character, is a hard sell. Or even using the suit he wears in Insomniac's game would be more understandable, but this version of Spider-Man is definitively separate from Insomniac's version. All new characters added to Marvel's Avengers are meant to come with their own story beats and missions, but if Spider-Man is exclusive to PlayStation, that severely limits the role he can actually play in the story, as a significant portion of the player base won't be able to see it. That means that he's either going to be relegated to a glorified side character, or that Xbox and PC players will actually miss out on a good portion of content. Sony's deal with Marvel and Disney is pretty unclear at the moment as to who really owns what, especially when it comes to games. Marvel worked with Activision to publish its games up until 2014 when the license ended, and the situation with Sony is described as a partnership. At E3 2016, Marvel Games head Jay Ong said, "We've had a long history of success with Activision and we still have a great relationship with them, but the future of Spider-Man console games is with Sony and Insomniac, and that's something that's going to continue forward. With regard to other console partners, stay tuned. There's many more interesting additional things to come, but Activision is in the past with regards to Spider-Man." A key part there is console games. That would suggest that Spidey could appear on PC, but clearly that isn't happening, at least at the moment. Plus, you've got to take into account that Spider-Man was in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, which was a Nintendo Switch exclusive. How was Spider-Man able to appear in that game if the deal was exclusively with Sony? See, that's why it's all so complicated. Ultimately, Sony has no real reason to bend and allow the web slinger to appear on other platforms. Sony would gain some consumer goodwill by sharing Spidey, but they wouldn't actually gain anything financially. For every person saying that they won't buy the game because of this exclusivity, there will be someone else who does buy it as a result of this decision because Spider-Man is so popular. Now, I'm not disparaging you if you do want to avoid buying it because of this as a kind of protest, more power to you, but you have to acknowledge how popular Spider-Man is, and most people with a PS4 don't really care about any of this exclusivity stuff and will just buy it anyway. If it was any other Marvel character, the impact wouldn't be quite as significant, but this is Spider-Man we're talking about. The first session of Marvel's Avengers beta is at the end of this week, between the 7th and 9th of August if you pre-ordered it, and then there's a couple more dates in the weeks to follow. However good or bad these betas go, that will be the decider for what makes or breaks this game. The game is out in a month's time, but the level of anticipation for it is much lower than I'm sure Square Enix would like, and this decision has definitely left a bitter taste in an already soured mouth. I love Spider-Man and look forward to playing as him, but I really don't like the idea that he's exclusive for a multi-platform game. But what do you think? Should he be shared across all platforms, or should PC and Xbox get their own exclusive character? And next up, many PC gamers hate the Epic Games Store due to its aggressive approach approach to exclusives, but primarily due to its lack of features over Steam. One of the biggest draws of PC gaming is the ability to change your game experience using mods. Epic Games is now finally adding mod support to its storefront over 18 months since it launched. This will come into effect first with MechWarrior 5, and players will be able to download a modding kit via the store. Any purchase of MechWarrior 5 from now on will automatically come with the mod kit. MechWarrior developer Piranha Games expanded on what mods will be available and that this feature will be in beta. We are excited to announce that MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries is the first game to participate in the beta launch of Epic Games Store mods. With this release, discovering and installing MW5 mods made by the amazing modding community will be easier than ever, integrated directly into the existing Epic Games launcher. Some of the mods available now include the Mech Commander Mercenaries mod will convert the game from a first-person mech shooter to a full real-time strategy game. MW5 Mercs Reloaded is a community-created mod that expands the mech lab with deeper customization in addition to general quality of life improvements. There are also multiple AI mods that improve the in-game AI, such as the Tabletop Rules Lancemate and Enemy AI mods. It's taken a long time, but at least this feature is finally coming. It's unclear when mod support will leave beta and be applied to other titles, but it is a step towards catching up with Steam, even if it's barely anything. This won't convince many of the naysayers since Steam still provides more features than Epic, but at least it's a step in the right direction. A small step, but a step nonetheless. What games do you want to see get mod support on the Epic Games Store? Do you even care about mods, or have you just got them all covered with Steam? And finally, Sony has announced that the current PS4 controller, the DualShock 4, is not compatible with PS5 games. In a Q&A on the PlayStation blog, Sony said, "Will DualShock 4 work with PS5 games? No, we believe that PS5 games should take advantage of the new capabilities and features we're bringing to the platform, including the features of DualSense wireless controller." This will be disappointing news to anyone who hope to save a bit of cash by using their existing controllers, but they are not completely obsolete. The DualShock 4 model will still work on your PS5 if you're running PS4 games through backwards compatibility, but it just won't work with any new PS5 titles. Meanwhile, Xbox reiterated that all Xbox One controllers will work on all Xbox Series X games, including the adaptive controller and Elite controllers. I've seen some critics say that it's because Xbox hasn't innovated on the controller while PlayStation has, but I think it highlights the key difference between the companies going forward, even more so when you look at that whole Spider-Man situation. Xbox wants everyone to play their games however they want on a console, a PC, or through Game Pass with whatever controller they want. Conversely, PlayStation wants everyone to play their games on their latest system with their latest hardware and exclusive characters. Sony has done insanely well this generation, but going forward, it seems like Microsoft is being the more pro-consumer company. But please remember, kids, before you pick your sides in the console war, just remember that neither of these companies actually give a shit about you. And on that cynical note, I'm out. And that's your lot for today. If you enjoyed this no shit format, go ahead and give the video a like to give it a boost. Hit subscribe and the bell if you want to stay up to date on all future installments. Toss a coin to your YouTuber over at patreon.com/prettygoodgaming. That's all for today. I've been Henry Cooper. Bye for now.